that is asked all the time, especially by educators. How much should I charge for this package? How much should I charge for this speaking engagement? How much should I charge for this workshop? So let's talk about it, and let me give you some tips on how to determine and understand pricing. So the question was posed to me this morning: how much should I charge for a speaking engagement? And the answer is always complex because it really depends. So let me go through this so that you can understand it. So stick with me. I'm going to give you some real examples. First of all, free is not the answer. Slavery is over and we no longer work for free. So free is not the answer. I do understand that sometimes we do free engagements, we do free speaking, we do a free something here and there, especially if it will build your clientele, if it will put you in front of the right audience, if it will elevate your career. But I don't recommend making a habit of doing that. And you do it based on whether or not that's aligned with the mission and vision of your company and of your brand. So if it's something that's going to put you in front of people, that's going to lead to many other contracts or several other contracts, then I will consider doing it for free. But many people will revert to the free without ever even seeing or requesting to be paid. As soon as someone invites me to an organization or an event, and they will often say, "Hey, Dr. D, would you be willing to speak at my event?" Or, "We would love for you to speak at this event." And my response is always, "Oh my goodness, I would absolutely love to speak at your event, depending on whether or not it matches my calendar. What's your budget for this event? What's your speaker budget?" And so that lets them know right away I'm not working for free. Like, my ultimate goal, and I'm telling you how I work this, my ultimate goal is that I'm not working for free. Like, I'm putting it out there. What's your budget, to imply this is not a free engagement. This is not what I do is valuable. What I give is valuable. And so free is not the way that I'm going. Okay, so that's the first thing. That's the first element around the free piece. The second piece is, now this is for educators, and I know that there are other people who listen in who are not educators, but you understand what I'm saying. We're all in a career, and we're making a pivot or using our skills in a different way. As people who are typically standing in front of a classroom, leading a classroom, being the sage on the stage, speaking every day, just because you can speak does not make you a speaker. I'm gonna say it again. I know y'all didn't want to hear that. I know y'all didn't want to hear that. Just because you can speak, all of us can speak, but that does not make us a speaker. It doesn't. And so one of my pet peeves is when someone who has no training, they have no format, they have no true message, there is nothing that's creating movement in the audience, the listeners who are in the audience should walk away feeling motivated. They should walk away with actions to take and things to implement. However, we have a lot of teachers, a lot of educators who, because they can speak and they enjoy speaking, because after all, we do it every day. And who doesn't love a group of people listening to you, giving you center attention for you to say and speak and say whatever you want to say or need to say? Like, most people love that. But that doesn't mean that it was good. Now, are they going to tell you it was good at the end? Absolutely, they are. They're going to say, "Oh, you did a good job. Oh, you did a good job. Oh, that was a good speech. Oh, thank you. That message resonated with me." We shouldn't be charging top dollar. And we shouldn't think that we can charge top dollar. I talked to someone the other day, and they said they charge $5,000 for a speaking engagement. I said, "How many speaking engagements have you done?" "Well, none yet." "Yeah, you're going to have none for a long time. For a long time. For a long time." Like, where do we come up with the pricing? Where do we get the understanding from the pricing? What many of us will do, we will see what somebody else is charging, and then we'll say, "That's what I'm going to charge too." But what we did not take into account is that that person went through a training to be a polished, developed speaker. That person has a speaker kit. That person has experience. That person has results. That person has testimonials. And that person has spoken and done this 20, 30, 60, 100 times. And that's why they're charging the price that they're charging. I equate this to, I have a good girlfriend who knows how to do natural hair. So she's good. She does her own hair. And when I see her hair, I'm like, oh, your hair is really pretty. That's cute. And she always says, well, Chanel, I'll do your hair for you. I can do it for you. And she can do it for you. But guess what? It's not like when I go to my stylist. When I go to my stylist, she gets every edge, every stray hair. It's just, it hits different. Both of them know how to do hair. One is trained, one is not. One is concerned about hair care, hair growth. It's a totally different experience. And that is the thing that people don't always realize, that just because you can do it doesn't mean you're great at it. And so the person who's doing hair at home and the person who just does her own hair and does it really cute and then will do it on some other people, she's not able to charge the same amount as the person who went to school, got the training, understands the chemicals and all of those things and how hair works and the physiological and biological things with the hair. They don't get the same price because they come at it from a different way. And it's the same thing with this question of, how much do I charge? How much should I charge? How much can I charge? We got to get real here. Like, we have to be willing to think about it from a different way. Okay. We got to be willing to think about this a little bit different. And especially when it comes to the speaking engagements. When we're talking about speaking engagements, you got to ask yourself, how much can I charge, or how much should I charge, and based on what? So let me give you some examples. So should you be charging $5,000? What's the going rate for speaking? First of all, do you even know that? And the people who you're asking, how many years have they been speaking, and where did they start? So we like to start where people are currently, and that's not how that works. That's not how that works. Why is it that when you started teaching, you didn't come in on year 20, you came in on year 1? Why? And why did you not have an expectation to come in on year 20? It's the same thing with your pricing for speaking engagements. You cannot go to a company that has even solicited you to speak and say, I want 10,000, my price is $10,000. And then they say, well, send in your proposal and send in your information so that we can see if we can get you to $10,000. Well, when you send it in, where are your testimonials? Where are your list of speaking engagements? Where are your topics that get results? What is the message that you're going to leave their audience with? And what movement are you going to create? And many times, because as educators, many of us, not all of us, but many of us have not been formally trained as speakers by a real speaker to show you that there is a format that you should be using. There is a framework that you should be following. There is a message that you should be delivering, and there is movement that you should be creating. And it's a difference when at the end of the engagement, someone says, oh, that was good. Oh, your speech was so good. I enjoyed your speech. That means that your speech was not good. That means that your speech was not good. But when they say, oh my goodness, your speech made me realize that I need to dream bigger and expect more. Your speech made me realize I've been doing life all wrong. I need to change my life. If they can't tell you concrete things that they need to change or that you created in them to make them want to change, you didn't do the job. You didn't make it happen. And so a lot of us, we will get up. We think that our personality is enough. We will crack a few jokes. We will, have written down what we want to say, but it's not creating the emotion, the engagement, the movement that we needed to create. And so anybody can speak, Anybody can speak. I'm speaking right now, but that doesn't make me a speaker. So should I be charging the same price as someone who has done this for a living or who has been trained in this, who gets the results? Now, you do have to build your portfolio. So after you build your portfolio and you have the evidence, so I will tell you my first speaking engagement, I think I made like $250. I didn't expect to make anything. Let me say that. So I made like $250. But even now, some of my speaking engagements I will do for like mastermind groups and stuff. I charge $850 for like a mastermind group to go in to talk to them, for women's groups, because it aligns with my mission. Like my goal is to help women to live their dream life and to dream a bigger dream. And I want to get that message out. Now, that's for the smaller organizations. Now, when I'm talking about bigger organizations who have a true budget, see, because when you are a bigger organization and you have a true budget, now we're up at the $2,500-$3,500 range. I'm just telling you what I do. I'm not telling you what you need to do. But these are places that make multiple millions of dollars a year, and I'm going in to speak for 45 minutes. Okay. And then sometimes they'll even send back and say, that's outside of our budget. I will push. And I'll say, well, what is your budget? I've spoken at a university before, and I did two. One was for 1,800 and one was for $1,000. And those were actually virtual. I did it virtually. And one was 1,800, one was $1,000. And when I spoke, I got the result, which is why they called me back. And I told them the first time I did it, it was $1,000. And the second time I told them it's going to be 1,800. They saw the results. They were willing to up the price to 1,800. Again, where did I get the pricing from? I thought about the venue, how many people, what I was trying to get out the deal, what the impact would be. Of course, the mission and vision aligned to what it was that I did. It was a group of women in graduate school. And my point in speaking to them was to let them know you got to dream a bigger dream. Many of these women were moms. Oh, excuse me. They were educators. And, don't just settle for this teacher salary. Don't think that the only way you can teach is in a school. So I went because it aligned to the work that I desire to do. So what my point to you all is, you got to figure out how much you're going to charge, but you also need to have a level of realism to this whole thing. Because have I been trained? I absolutely have been trained. Gone over there to Robert Hartwell. Robert Hartwell trained me. Strength on stages is what I did. He trained me on how to speak, how to stand, how to deliver, how to get my message out. So I'm not just showing up all willy-nilly. I could speak before I got there. All of us know how to speak, but Robert trained me on how to deliver a moving speech that creates emotion in the audience so that they can then turn that emotion into action. So, do I have training? Yes, I do. Do I have a format? Yes, I do. Do I have a message? Yes, I do. Do I create movement? Yes, I do. Do I have results? Yes, I do. Do I have testimonials? Yes, I do. Do I have a list of speaking engagements that I've spoken at? Yes, I do. Do I only charge one single price? No, I do not. I'm just being honest with you all, because it's a lot of people out here telling you all that you come up with a price, you stick with that price, and your price is your price. And I'm here to tell you, you're going to be broke, hungry, and looking crazy if you do that. I'm just saying. See, those people who are telling you that, they don't even do that themselves. You're not going to tell me that if somebody came to you and offered you $1,800 to speak for 45 minutes, you're gonna say, "Nah, that's okay. My price is 3,500, and I'm only doing 3,500." Girl, get out of my face. That is not what we're doing. When I'm doing this, and they say 1,800, and I sent a proposal for 2,500, and they say, All my budget will allow is 18 because they're gonna try to talk you down. I will let them know, well, I'm going to be willing to meet your budget because this is aligned with my vision and I really do want to partner with you all. I'll do this one at your rate this time, but if we choose to move further into additional speeches, I will need I'm hoping and that you will meet my rate. You know, we're going to have to work on meeting my rate, but I'm willing to do this one. Let's get the first one out the way. And then what am I thinking? Oh, I'm going to speak for 45 minutes and pay my house note. What? Girl, stop. So even when I do going into mastermind groups, which I absolutely love, I absolutely love when people call me to come into their mastermind, to come into their woman empowerment group, to come into whatever group that they have started. And I have a flat rate, $850. I come, I deliver the message that I'm going to deliver. I get the results. I'm not trying to sell anybody anything. See, that's the difference. I'm not selling anything. I'm going to deliver to get them to think in a certain way, to take certain actions, to do certain things. And then I go on about my business. And then I have my pro bono work that I do, the things that I do for free, things that just align with me and my company, things that I'm passionate about. And so I want us to understand, figure out what your pricing matrix is, and then know that sometimes you're going to have to come off of that pricing matrix. Sometimes you're going to have to come off of that pricing matrix. I did a speaking engagement not too long ago. It was 30 minutes, and that doesn't the time doesn't change anything. It was the purpose that changes for me. So it was 30 minutes and I was paid $250. It was to a group of principals. My ideal client. You know what I'm saying? Like that was my ideal client. And you're going to put me in front of 50 principals. I'm going to do an amazing job. And from that, at least half or a third of those principals are going to come follow me on Facebook, Instagram, or have my LinkedIn. And they did. They followed me on LinkedIn. And so now I can get business from you by reminding you that I was the lady who spoke and would you like to set up a call and blah, blah, blah. So yeah, I did it for $250 because it was worth it for me. It was my ideal client, a group of 50 principals. Come on now. Come on now. So I want us to, really think about how it is that we're thinking about this pricing matrix. But I really want educators to understand when we're talking about speaking engagements that just because someone asks you to speak doesn't mean that you get to charge what everybody else is charging. Determine what's going to work for you. Stop basing your prices off what someone else is doing. Think about what you're going to put into this, what you're trying to get out of this, and come up with a price that works. Does it help to know what competitors charge? Yeah, but are most of them going to tell you? No, no. And then don't try to start where it took them 20 years to get to. We got to get real about this. And I'm going to go back to asking the question, like, and here's the last part that I'm going to say. you know, um, One of my friends right now is being courted for a series of speaking engagements. And this is a big ticket package. This is because they want her to come repeatedly over and over and over again. And she's had extensive training. So she's not new to this. She's true to this. And they have been talking her down, working around the proposal, working around the deal, because yes, you still do proposals for speaking engagements. Yes, you absolutely do. But many of us, we don't even have a speaking kit. We don't even have a speaking reel. We don't have any other things that a professional speaker has, but we want to charge professional speaker prices. Am I saying lowball yourself? No, I am not. What I am saying, this is the point to what I need to say. Many of us will use pricing to self sabotage. Yep, that's what I said. Many of us will use pricing to self sabotage. We are excited that we got the opportunity, that they called us, they asked us, they're requesting us, they want our service. We're excited about that. But then we're also nervous about, what if it don't go good? What if I mess up? What if they don't like it? What if the speech is not good? And then unconsciously, we begin to self sabotage. And many times we will self sabotage through pricing. We will set a price that's so high that we know the people are not going to agree to that. And then that eliminates the issue of, how do I do this? What do I need to do? Let me make it happen. Because now they said they don't want your services. So it creates a level of relief, but it also creates a level of defeat. But it was through the self-sabotaging that it happened. And so a lot of us, we use our pricing to self-sabotage. I'm just telling y'all the truth. I know it's somebody on here who can relate to what I'm saying, but I want you to think about this. Are you using pricing to self-sabotage? Do you really want to get in front of these people, deliver your message, and create the movement that you're looking to create and establish the relationships that you're looking to establish? Or are you excited and scared at the same time, and doing things to prevent the opportunity from materializing into real life? Because for some of us, it's just enough to be asked. We just get that excitement, that surge of excitement, and now we can tell everybody, yeah, they asked me to speak, they asked me to speak, they asked me to speak. And then we don't follow up, we don't follow up, we don't follow up. We set our pricing too high, too high, too high, too high. Very seldom is the pricing too low, too low, too low, unless we're doing it for free. And then we don't follow up. We won't negotiate. We won't try to overcome any objectives, because that is us unconsciously self-sabotaging. That's my message to y'all. I know. So how much should you charge? Tell me, how much do you think it's worth? What are the results that you're going to give? What type of transformation are you going to create? And what does your proposal say? So when you think about these things, then come up with a number that feels good to you. That Come up with a number that feels good to you. I've given you pricing that I use, and this pricing has worked for me. Sometimes I'll try out higher pricing. And then I also think about, like, what I'm trying to get out of the situation. Like, what am I doing? What is, because you can never pay me what it's worth. Like, in my opinion, I should be getting paid $10,000, $15,000 for every speaking engagement, because I give, 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 give. But I had to learn that you can't just decide that because I give a lot, I should charge a lot. You can't just decide that, because I got 45 minutes to deliver a message. Sometimes I only have 12 minutes. So a lot of us think that speaking is hours upon hours. It's not. You can get a 3-minute spot, you can get a 12-minute spot, you can get a 15-minute spot, you can get a 30-minute spot, you can get a 45-minute spot, or you can get a 1 hour spot. After that, that's pretty much it. That's it. Nobody's calling you in to speak for 6 hours. Nobody's doing that. So and she's I'm getting a message now saying, don't forget about me. I'm not, I'm on live now. So think about what you want to charge. Think about what it is you want to do. And I also want you to be realistic with yourself, but don't lowball yourself. Like, we're not doing $100 gigs. We're not doing 200. And we're also not doing by the hour. We're not doing by the hour. Think about your result and the value that it brings. So don't think to yourself, I'm making $250 an hour. That's not what you're doing. That's not. I can make $850 for 30 minutes. That It does not matter about the hour. So don't think about an hour. It took me all of my life to be able to deliver these messages. So you can't reduce that to an hourly rate wage. So no, I don't work by the hour. I will give you a project price. I will give you a speech price. But no, I don't work by the hour, and neither should you, because you took all of these years of college, all of these classrooms, all of these job experiences, all of these relationships. All of that is what's allowing you the ability to be able to deliver the speech. And so to think that you're going to get paid by the hour. No, we're not doing that. No, not in 2024. That's not what we're doing. Determine what your rate is. Determine what your rate is, folks. And when you do that, do not self sabotage yourself. And here's my last thing that I'll say before I go. And this is what I did. I started at one rate, and then once I got paid that amount, I moved up to another. I added on to it. And then once I got that rate, I added on to it. And then once I got that rate, I added on to it. So I just keep adding until I get to a point that they're not accepting it anymore. Do I do ridiculous stuff like triple and quadruple my rate? Nope. Sometimes I do double sometimes. So I did a speaking engagement at 250, then I went to 500, then I went to 850, then I went to 1,000, then I went to 1,500, then I went to 2,000, then 2,500. I've done one for 2,200. Then I went to 3,000. Right now I'm at 3,500. I'm at 3,500. But did I start at 3,500? No, no, I had to get polished. I had to hone my craft. I had to get to the point where I was creating the transformation consistently. I had to do the work on me. I had to do the work on my craft. I had to do the work. I had to do the work on my brand, on my presentation. I had work to do. So I couldn't go out here talking about $3,500. Am I going to be charging more? Absolutely. My goal is to get to $5,000 a speech. And I want to do 6 speeches a year at $5,000. It's a simple goal. It's a simple goal. Am I there yet? No, I am not. No, I am not. Will I make it there? Yes, I will. I absolutely will. But did I start there? No, I did not. Did I invest in my ability to speak? Yes, I did. I invested heavily because I knew that this was going to be a stream of income for me. Did I jump the gun and try to do 26 things at one time? Nope. I had my other stuff going. A lot of it was on automation. It was set and ready to go so I can add one more stream to the plate, which was speaking engagements. So that's what I got for y'all. I hope this is helpful. Leave me a comment, subscribe to my channel so that you can get more content like this. And if you got questions, leave them in the chat. I'm more than happy to answer your questions. You all know I always say I'm more than happy to answer your questions, but you got to let me know what your question is. I'll talk to y'all later.